video, you're going to see the place that we visited. And, excuse me, that place is called the Beautiful Gates. So the main entrance to the temple had, literally, it had two different gates. People used to go in from one side of, from three gates on one side, and they used to come out on the other side of the gates. It was like a one-way system. The one-way systems are not near, they have been there for some time. And we read that at that very spot in the book of Acts chapter 3 and verse 1, if I can call it, chapter 3 verse 1, that is where says, now Peter and John went up together to the temple at the hour of prayer, the 9th hour. And a certain man lame from his mother's womb was carried, whom they laid daily at the gate of the temple, which is called Beautiful, to ask alms from those who entered the temple. Who, seeing Peter and John about to go into the temple, asked for alms, and fixing his eyes on him, with John Peter, said, look at us. So he gave them his attention, expecting to receive something from them. Then Peter said, silver and gold I don't have, but what I do have I give you. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, rise up and walk. And he took him by the right hand and lifted him up, and immediately his feet and ankles, bones, received strength. And he leapt up, stood and walked, and entered the temple with them, walking, leaping, and praising God. So this miracle happened right at the footsteps of the temple, right at the footsteps of the temple. So today, this what you're going to see this video is the place where we went to see at the steps of the temple, at the gates called Beautiful. That's where people used to come into the temple, at the gates called Beautiful. You know, as I said, when I come to Jerusalem, I want to look for original things. I want to look for things which are authentic. I want to go to sites which are authentic, because trust me, some sites are not authentic, but I want to go to sites which are authentic. So this is one of the sites which is authentic, the entrance to the temple, and is in the very vicinity of the same site that we've been to today, where Jesus comes to the temple and he overturns the tables of the money changers. We see that in John 2, from verses 13, John 2, and says, now the Passover of the Jews was at hand, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem, and he found in the temple those who sold oxen, sheep and doves, and the money changers doing their business. When he had made a whip of cords, he drove them out of the temple with the sheep and oxen, and poured out the changers' money and overturned the tables. And he said to those who sold the doves, take these things away. Don't make my Father's house a house of merchandise. So then the disciples remember that it was written, zeal for your house has eaten me up. So literally where we were standing in this video is where the shops used to be, is where when the people came to the temple, they used to come to buy sacrifices like doves and sheep and other animals for sacrifice. So they would take these animals at the place of sacrifice, you know, just before the entrance to the temple, you know, where they used to sacrifice. But now what happened is these money changers and dove sellers, they had expanded their business from outside the temple and literally took it literally at the very gates of the temple, which was literally defiling the temple. So when the Christ comes and he finds them literally taking their business, You know, touts have been here for ages. We've seen touts on the streets of Jerusalem where people are trying to sell you stuff left, right, and center by force. This has happened way before. These guys were literally, first of all, they were ripping people off. They used to sell people, sell sacrifices at exorbitant prices because they knew people were desperate. So they had brought all their thievery into the temple. And then Christ comes and overturns the temple. So today, that's what we are in this video is the site that you see where we went to. And on top of that, today we've also been to the Temple Mount, which you see the clips of that. And also, the other one you see in the next video. We've also been to the Golden Gate, which I'll mention in another video. But I just wanted to highlight on the steps that you see, which were leading out into the temple by the gates called Beautiful. Right, let's see you. I'll see you again. Yeah, so they used to enter from the other side where the 3 arches are, and then they would enter from this side and then come out on the other side. Yes, so what you see here were some of them were what you call mitzvahs in Hebrew, or bathing pools where people used to come and cleanse before they would go into the temple. But apart from that, there used to be all shops around here where people used to come and where they would sell animals for sacrifices. So this place is where Christ literally came and the tables. So this way you find all the money changers and other people selling stuff, and he overturned the tables of the money changers at the entrance to the temple. So that was the entrance to the temple where those steps are, where I'm pointing, and then people would come out from the other 3 gates on the other side, as you can see. So it was like a circle. People would go in there and then they would come out from this end. And then the temple itself literally stood behind where we've been onto the Temple Mount. And these pillars that you see, literally, they still stand from the very day, from the very old. Now, scholars, for the people who do scholars, they always use the bedrock as the point of contact. You can see that this rock is what they call the bedrock, and it's the original rock where everything is built. So that means everything you see on this bedrock is original. So technically speaking, the rock that you see, the rock we are standing on now, is the actual rock of Mount Moriah. Yeah? So imagine the rock I'm touching right now. This rock is the actual rock of Mount Moriah. Mount Moriah is the rock of Mount Moriah. And it's on this rock that this whole structure of the temple was built. This is the actual rock of Mount Moriah, where Abraham came to sacrifice his son Isaac. This is the bedrock, the actual bedrock of this mountain, the original bedrock of this mountain, the bedrock of Mount Moriah. Fascinating stuff, fascinating stuff. Today the sun is out and it's really hot, as in hot. It's very hot, very hot, very hot. Now in the background behind me is the Olives, as you can see. That's the Mount of Olives in the background. That's the Mount of Olives, where you see all those cemeteries. That's the Mount of Olives. Yeah, the steps we're working on. These are the steps we're working on. Christ himself would have walked on these steps. Let's walk up the steps up there. So these are, imagine, these are the original stones.
This is real, my friend. This is real. This is Jesus' baby. I mean, there's a good one high possibility that
That's exactly what I say. Yeah, these are original steps that Christ himself would have walked on going into the temple. So we are walking in history. This is walking in history. We are ascending up to where people used to ascend to the temple. Wow. What an amazing feeling. I'm walking in history. I'm walking in history.
It could be.
I've known you as a friend, now I will see of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been good, so good. And every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. I surrender up, I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, is running after me. Your goodness is running after, is running after me. Oh, your goodness is running after, is running after me. I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, is running after me. Faithful. All my life you have been so good. Every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. Of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God.